What's going on, y'all? Greg said it. Without inspiration, motivation, y'all, Colorado, the fan base is excited. You know, we got this guy, Sincere Brown. He committed today, had another O-lineman commit yesterday from Memphis. So the portal is livening up a little here for little pieces that is felt that's needed. Now, Sincere Brown is a guy who, on another channel, Buff and Prime, has been kind of playing a little scout, you know, as far as finding some kind of overlooked talent. He's been doing that for about, I guess, a year now. And the fan base got really excited about it. Big body receiver. I believe he's 6'4", 6'5", somewhere between there. Real athletic. Played about a year at Campbell, come from another program, didn't play much. He actually came from USF, down where Jimmy Horn was at. And he just kind of blew up. And it's like he's one of those overlooked talents that's had a pretty big year at the level he was at, and he's coming to Colorado to add to that room, add some size to that room, some more talent to that room. A lot of people feel that is needed. And of course, I gave my opinion because I was like, you know, it'd be good to have him. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he come because, I mean, Campbell and Coach Prime had a relationship with the coach and Campbell prior to that. Then you have the USF connection, and what better place to come to get the spotlight when you got one more year to just really just make a name for yourself than Colorado. You got the quarterbacks, you got all the talent here, fanfare galore. Good move. It's worked for other people that came here. It worked for Jimmy Horn, it worked for Xavier Weaver. Even Will Shepard, like it's working out for him. So it's like this having this stage, this platform has been a good thing for people like this young man who in a little period of time, he need to be able to let the world know what he can do. And at the same time, Colorado can benefit from another weapon on the outside to help Salter or Juju, whoever else there. But the biggest thing I noticed is that, you know, Colorado don't have the hype. They don't have the fanfare when you think about Shedeur Sanders and all the followers he have. He used to coach his son. He's been doing this thing for a long time. The cameras, he got his own thing going on. Considered one of the top quarterbacks in the country for the last couple of years. And the whole storyline that followed him over with his dad, can he do it, from HBCU. Just a great story. Then you had Travis Hunter, who was like the best out of high school, the best out of college. He chose to go and leave Florida State and go to Jackson State. Another storyline. And come to Colorado, it's just been a great, you know, a lot of hate, a lot of doubt, and they've done a lot of good things. They produce great numbers. They perform like people didn't believe they could. And it's like when you lose a storyline like that, along with some other characters, I would say, it's like, what did Colorado have? People say Colorado's in a rebuild year. They're trying to figure it out. They're not going to be that good. You don't really know who the quarterback's going to be. You just don't have the big names. And really, you lost a lot of what a lot of people knew as key players in your receiving room, your quarterback. You lost Travis Hunter. But people don't know is the people who are returning. It was a young team, especially on the defense last year. What people don't know is some of the talent upgrades they actually have and more depth they have without the fanfare. And I say, wow, the people really going to get caught up this year. Colorado going to catch some people slipping. Because people look at that media hype and they really think that's what makes a team. Now, it really helps when you come from a program that's like legendary and has been doing things for a long time. And that helps the average person who's a mediocre fan. They really don't know. They just jump on a bandwagon and say, hey, I'm going to Alabama, I'm going to Michigan. Because they have been consistent programs. But that doesn't change the fact that other programs cannot develop. And they usually do. Like every year, you usually have a team that's pop up. I remember when you look at Arizona State last year, nobody saw them coming in conference or out of conference. They almost scared Texas. They really had a little help. Texas did. And it's like, wow, what do they have? Nobody saw. Every year it's a team that kind of comes up and like, where do they come from? So you don't never really know who that is. And it's typically not the team. Yeah, You have those circulations of, okay, Alabama's good one year, Michigan is dominated, Ohio State is dominated. You know, within that circle, you say, oh, these teams, one of these teams can be the guy. But it's always one of those quote-unquote Cinderella teams. And the reason is because the dynamics of a team is very unique. Like, sometimes a team can get some pieces that really takes them over the top. And sometimes a team can lose pieces. Like a good team, a good program can lose some pieces. And like, what happened? Because it's a very sensitive thing. And I think it creates what they call a perfect storm. I think the Indiana had a great year last year. Even though everybody was trying to pull everything off from under them, everything that they accomplished, the two teams that beat them, one day in the championship, right at it. The only two teams that they lost to. One they lost to in the regular season, the other one they lost to in the playoff. And people try to write that what they did off. But they did something exceptional, but people just refused to believe they were good. Oh, they really that good, and as soon as they lose, see? But look who they lost to. Two teams in the national championship. So, you know, you have those teams. And I believe Colorado, and of course you always feel that your team, I believe Colorado can be that type of team because last year team had done it, you would say, oh, well, you know, you should do what we didn't want to believe, but he is that guy. Travis Hunter, he did win the Heisman. What he do got Jimmy Hunter, they do got LeJohn, all the stuff that, you know, people wrote off originally. They can say, well, it's because of that. And all these guys go to the NFL, and then, you know, they go to the combine, and you can use that to justify. But a team like what they have this year, you can't really, I mean, you know Salter, but we know. The rest of the world don't know Salter. Juju's young. They're going to write that off. Oh, he's just a little young guy. He'll be the guy in the future. You have all of those different players that they're right at the surface, but they're not just like known. They're not household names. You really can't name anybody on the defensive side of the ball. It's a household name. You got a lot of potential, and they can become almost household names, depending on what they do. But they just don't have the fanfare. They just don't have the following, their reputation. Like Travis Hunter brought his stuff all the way from high school, hanging with the celebrities, the Destroyer. He had all of that. And you know what Shador had. He's a Sanders. And he leveraged that brand, and the brands leveraged him, and it just, you knew who that was. Nobody really know who these guys are, regardless of their talent level, because they just haven't been able to build that. Offense, too. He got Jordan Seaton over there, and he made a big deal coming out of high school, but that's about it. That's, some people in the football world know him, but, you know, it's not like a person who doesn't really know football will be able to recognize who he is. His name or person. His image, his likeness, none of that. They will not know who that is. Typical football. That's typical. When you take away the celebrity, you have typical football. The only people should really know you is your fans. And the only people who really should know you is people who know you. That's how football, that's what makes Colorado, what's been going on before, very unique. I'm interested to see how it's going forward, because this is looking like a regular football team. Well, only your fans know you. Nobody can recognize you. And even if you do well, you won't get to that status that a Travis. Don't even try. It just doesn't happen. There's a lot of variables that make that. But what it allows is Colorado to move in silence. To move in silence in a way where nobody can really trip you up because they ain't checking for you. Matter of fact, they can underestimate you. They can doubt you. And you not really going to get no respect until you make people respect you, till you prove yourself. And even then, they might be like in denial. But it's fine. You're going to get your results. You're going to get what's for you. You can't compare to what the other boys got, because that was something different. But when you move in silence, without all what the other boys had to go to, everybody made them their Super Bowl. Yeah, we coming, or we going to show you Oregon. Everybody was like trying to make a point out of a little bit of scrap to put together a team. That's not going to be the case. And I guess we're going to get to see some football this year. And just more ways than one. It's not going to be just, you know, pass or, they can just kind of narrow in on one person like they did with Shador and his daddy. It's going to be more like football. But at the same time, it's going to be for the benefit Coach Prime and what he say he gonna do. And they're not gonna better load up on him like they did before. Maybe a few games in, they start saying, oh, sure, we gotta do something. But it's gonna be a little different. He's gonna be able to operate below the radar a little better. Yeah, people wanna come at him, but they're not gonna take him serious. And that's like, it's beneficial. I think when you look at just ordinary people, sometimes everybody want to be a celebrity, want to be a star. They don't value the hidden place, that place where nobody even know who you are until you do what you do. And then it's like, whoa, who is that? And then you see the organic building of a brand, right? But nobody's seen the work you did behind the scene. Nobody's seen the grind, the hustle, the struggles, the failures you had to go through to get to that point. Because that's the natural way. It's not like people just get to see the ready-made product. And like, oh, they don't really get to see what happens behind the scene. But when you move in silent, you get developed properly without the spotlight, without the pressure. These guys in Colorado don't get to do that. The guys who was on the team with Travis Hunter Shador before, they was up on the higher level of pressure and scrutiny because they was just amongst those man-children, whatever you want to call them. So it's going to be different. It's like when they cut that music off, it's going to be different. And it's going to work out for their good. They're going to get developed naturally and organically like they should. And we all should appreciate that we had that opportunity too. Everybody want that hype, but it comes with a lot. Sometimes you're not ready to be exposed. Sometimes it's a little premature. But when you come out in the right time, it's just a much better picture. And you can handle it a lot better. Because that character you develop behind the scenes, it will prepare you for what you're going to have to deal with in front. Versus you have to be developing in front of it. Man, kind of remind me of that first year in Colorado. They couldn't handle, being 4-0 or 3-0, and they couldn't handle the winning. Most people couldn't. Most people can't jump out there and just get all that hype and celebrities. Most people can't handle that. They ain't never experienced it. They learning on the fly. It's hard. Be grateful for those times when you feel like nobody recognizes you or see you. Because when your time do come, you will be better. You'll be better prepared. But I'm just Greg. Greg said it. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, comment. And I'll be talking to y'all soon.